Thank you very much, Sheikh. That was a very big introduction for someone not so important. The caliber of speakers we've had here is nowhere near, not worth the title of great. But thank you very much. And I'm happy to answer any questions about the organization after. If I don't know the answer, I will find the answer for you. I know Sheikh Ramzi already spoke quite a bit about human trafficking, but human trafficking is more of an act. The finality of it is modern slavery, is to exploit people for a reason. But I just want to talk a bit about how big this is. And, you know, we've talked a lot about sex slavery and women and children, but it affects a lot more people than just women and children, even though women are 79% of the percentage. They are the highest number of sex slaves. So we talked about 50 million people globally, but what about in the UK? Our home, London, one of the biggest cities in the world. In the UK, there are 130,000 people currently in slavery. 130,000. And that number was 100,000 only 4 years ago. So it's jumped 30,000 in just 4 years. And the biggest contributor was obviously COVID and the rise in conflicts across Europe as well as around the world. Another statistic which isn't really part of the modern slavery statistic, but it's 160 million. And what do you think this 160 million is? It's children. There's 160 million children who are currently working in labor globally. And this is not considered human trafficking, even though some of it is forced, some of it is due to the poverty-stricken areas that they may live in. But I just wanted to bring that part up because it is a very important thing that we should all work on. Despite these numbers, society turns a blind eye. We pretend it's not our problem, which is why it's important to know the signs. Before I started this, I didn't know the signs. I just used to live my life as though I'd worry about myself, my job, my income, my mortgage. But when you realize that the simple signs that you see every day, it's all around you. And if you don't know the signs, it's completely oblivious to you. So I'd recommend picking up one of our leaflets at the back. And people often end up trapped in slavery because they are vulnerable. And what are the vulnerabilities? I'll just pick a few of them. They may be tricked or trapped into exploitation. This could be due to poverty, exclusion. They may be compounded by the laws that fail to properly protect them. Others may be pushed into risky situations to search for opportunities, search for jobs, to search for a better life for themselves or for their families. And they might be getting jobs under false pretenses. But by understanding these tactics, we can prevent this and combat it. However, anti-trafficking laws and policies often face several flaws and challenges. For example, the existing anti-trafficking laws, they suffer from a narrow focus on criminalization or prosecution, but they neglect the essential aspects like prevention, victim protection, as well as addressing the root causes, such as poverty, inequality, bad implementation of resources, corruption, lack of political will. And I will take up that invitation to meet the all-party parliamentary group on modern slavery, because it's there, but I think they failed to really meet up at all. So we really need to push them. And this, you know, we focus too much maybe on sex trafficking and forget labor exploitation, criminal exploitation. Those are the big ones here in the UK, as well as sexual exploitation. I just want to also talk about who are the vulnerable populations. Like I said, it's women and children is the big one, but also migrants and refugees. We have runaways and homeless individuals. Homeless people in this country are being recruited to do criminal activities. They don't know any better. They just said, we're offering you food and shelter. Just do one drop for us. And then that turns into a lot more drops, and they could be worse. Poverty-stricken individuals, people with disabilities, uneducated or illiterate people. These people, unfortunately, are vulnerable because of this. And saving these people, it requires not only stronger legal frameworks, but an investment in education, prevention, victim protection, and international cooperation, which leads me on to, obviously, cultural diplomacy. So there was a lot of things people say, how we can improve cultural diplomacy, what we can do globally, what we can do locally. But just a couple of things that we can all do. First one is we should raise awareness. Once you know the signs, then you can tell others. And if you see someone who is suffering, then you can give them this booklet. And this booklet is designed to fit in your pocket. And this was by mistake. I actually ordered the wrong size, but it turned out to be a really good idea because this fits in your pocket. Put a few in there, and whenever you see anyone who maybe, if you can't talk to them because they may be busy, just give them one of this. You may save someone's life. We need to promote cross-cultural collaboration. So with different cultures, remember, victims in this country, only 25% are British nationals and 10% are British white people. The rest are, unfortunately, people from Europe and people from other countries around the world who have ended up here due to a multitude of reasons. We need to look at enhancing the legal and policy framework. So if you do work in law or you work within government, talk to your people that deal with this. That's what we need to work on. And encourage responsible media. Why is this important? Obviously, people have spoken today about how important technology. We are in the digital age. But what we were doing 50 years ago, talking rather than listening, it might not work. Use what we have. Use social media. Use media. That is how we can do it. And diplomatic missions can do that, but everyone at home can do it as well. So I just want to pick up one quote, which is I've put on my business card, which is in my pocket. And this is one of my favorite quotes. And if you have one of these, you'll know it. And this is from a very good friend of mine. Yeah, someone might know who he is. It says, "Some believe it is only great power that can hold evil in check. But that's not what I have found. I have found it is the small, everyday deeds of ordinary folk that keep the darkness at bay, small acts of kindness and love. And that kindness can be just giving someone, telling people the signs, doing whatever you can to spread awareness about this issue, spread awareness about any issue around the globe or in the UK." And whoever wrote that quote, his name was Gandalf, by the way, from Lord of the Rings. I thought he has a lot of wisdom, and that was one of my favorite quotes. So I will leave it there because it's been a very long day, and I can talk for ages about a single piece of information. It's been a very long day. But yeah, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Is anybody really would like to ask one question?
I'm open to questions for me, anyone. I think Daniel, was it Daniel at the back? I think that's your name, isn't it? Yeah, you had a burning question.
As quick as possible, please.
My question
Yes.
is in relation to what we are doing, but I like to think of causes rather than finding solutions to problems. When you look at this country, when we wanted to move into the technological age, we brought in so many entertainment technologies to fill houses. But we had something that children were doing, social centers. All these centers got closed down. Mm-hmm. Now children are at home. But we've got working parents working from 9 to 5.
What's your question, please?
My question, working from 9 to 5, and also children finishing school at 3. In terms of a countrywide policy, what can be done? Because children have 2-hour gap where they don't have parents looking after them and nothing they are doing. What can be done as a countrywide policy?
I can try and answer this. I know this doesn't directly relate to what I'm doing, but it is important when children leave school and they don't come home till late, they can get involved in bad activities and it will ruin their character as they grow up. I think the first thing we need to look at is the first teachers a child ever has is their own parents, if they have parents, which is the important thing. The parents should be teaching them the right way to do things and to come home as soon as possible or get involved in some after-school activities, which the school should arrange. I know the government haven't been great at funding youth places and youth centres and youth academies and extracurricular activities. That's something that's failing around the UK, which I think the Labour government can work on, put a bit more money into our young people. But that would be my answer. It should be the responsibility of the first teachers of the children, which is their parents.
Thank you. Put your hands together for Javed.
Thank you.